you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome back to the Songwriter Show right here on Reality Radio 101. I'm your humble host, Sarantos. I'm a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are just so important to me, and that's why I'm thrilled to host this show for you every single Tuesday evening. I believe in my heart that every song is a story. Tonight, I'm so excited to have on the show Stephen J. Schmidt. He's a Midwestern singer-songwriter who's written hundreds of songs, and each one is like a bottle of fine bourbon barrel-aged stout. He performs his rich, full-flavored original tunes, crafted over the last 50 years at house concerts, coffee houses, listening rooms, performing arts centers, wineries, and festivals. He's a highly skilled guitarist, some refer to as a folkie with chops.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much, Sarantos.
You're welcome. So you like the guitar, huh? Is that your main instrument?
Yeah, that's the primary instrument. I've got about 20 of these friends sitting around my studio here.
All right. What made you fall in love with the guitar?
It was a summer in middle school when other kids were all playing ball. A kid lent me his guitar, and that was it. I fell in love with the instrument, have been playing it ever since.
Well, that's simple enough. Do you have a tune that you learned that was like your first tune maybe that you want to share with us?
That's a real hard one because I was listening to folk music for many years before I started playing the guitar. As a kid, I remember listening to WFMT's The Midnight Special and getting into it and spinning Joan Baez records that my dad had in his collection. And that was really the start of it. My family, I come from a family of artists, and so I guess I was destined to do this kind of work.
And tell us a little bit about your songwriting process.
Sometimes I'm sitting back and just playing the guitar. Sometimes I get asked all the time, what comes first, the lyrics or the guitar lick? Sometimes they come together at the same time. It's just one of these organic things that happens. Sometimes I've got a story in my head and I've got some lyrics and I start with that and then I marry the guitar work to the lyric. But lately, what's really happening is it's the guitar lick that comes first, and then the words come. And my guitar playing is really meant to accompany the voice. I'm a finger picker. I'm not a strummer. And so that type of guitar work accompanies the voice in a way that makes magic happen. And so the songwriting just comes out organically. It's really a magical feeling as a songwriter when it all comes together. But songs are sometimes never done. Before our session today, I was revisiting some songs that I want to put on the next album, and I thought I had them done, and lo and behold, no, this other lyric works a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so those edits just keep happening as long as the song has life.
It's very challenging. I know one of the biggest struggles I had, especially early on, is learning to let go. You put your heart and soul into this, and you've spent 100 hours on a song, and at some point you got to let it fly. And I think we're all very picky, and some of us, it's never good enough.
Well, that's what makes us good as artists, isn't it? We keep challenging
hopefully.
ourselves. We keep challenging ourselves to do better. And I agree, they're like kids, Sometimes you just have to let them go and they have a life of their own. But that doesn't mean, though, that, once you lay it down on a record, that when you perform it live, that it doesn't change, because each performance is different. And revisiting songs that I wrote years ago when I put them in shows, it's really something to see, how can I breathe new life into these songs? How can I make them fresh again for new ears to listen to so that I can connect with my audience?
So I know that you're kind of in Rochester, but you're based out of Wisconsin. Tell us a little bit about where you're at.
Well, I make my home in Rochester, Minnesota, but I spend summers in this beautiful lake setting in West Salem, Wisconsin. And so I kind of go between places. What I like to think of my home now is the Driftless region, which is this wonderful part of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and parts of Illinois, actually, where the geology is really different. And I take a lot of inspiration from this area. It's the microclimates that exist in these wonderful bluffs above the Mississippi River, or these sinkholes that are on the prairie lands of as we go through the western part of the Driftless here in Minnesota. And so it's a real rich area with great stories and great people, and that's really where the inspiration for my music lately is coming from.
Tell us a little bit about this song we're going to hear. What inspired this one?
The Windmill 80 is actually the true story of my wife's family, who has been farming the same land in Olmsted County, Minnesota for 6 generations, and now 7, because one of them's had a child, and so it'll be 7 generations. And it's a song about my wife Liz's great-grandfather, and what he felt about that land, and what the rest of their family still feels about that land. When they get together at, what inspired the song is getting together with them at family reunions, and these wonderful farm folk talking about these farm stories and remembering their kin. And so that's the genesis of this song. And it's a gift to my wife and to her family and to all the farmers who work the land here in the Driftless region.
Okay, awesome. Tell you what, let's take a listen. We'll come back and talk, okay?
Terrific.
All right, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
The very best place I know is where the Root River flows, the clapboard house, Simpson Way, the farm where my kids were born, down a road that's been well worn. It's my home and where I plan to stay. The windmill ladies in my soul, working this field is my joy and only goal. Strength flies in this prairie soil, tending these roads is no toil. The windmill 80 is my home. The dirt here is a chestnut brown, rarely has a harvest let me down. My 8 sons help me plow the land. Over in the holler is a hidden still, where the oriole's song is never shrill. Come evening time, the boys form a string band. The windmill 80's in my soul, working this field is my joy and only goal. Strength flies in this prairie soil, tending these rows is no toil. The windmill 80 is my home. without a care. The windmill pumps proud high upon the hill. The windmill lady's in my soul. Working this field is my joy and only goal. Strength lies in this prairie soil. Tending these rows is no toil. The windmill lady is my home. The windmill lady is my home.
So thank you for sharing that song with us.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thanks so much for giving it a spin and a listen.
No problem. Tell us about a typical week. What does that entail for you?
Practice, practice, practice. I spend, now that I'm retired from my day job, I worked as a talent buyer. I worked as an arts administrator for 50 years, and had the opportunity to work with all kinds of artists that I presented. I got to jam with them at the same time when I was writing songs. But the thing that's really marvelous about retirement now for me is I get to really focus on my art. And so practice, writing, reading, listening to other music. That's really what a week is like. I work down here in the studio downstairs in our home when I'm not getting ready to go out and do gigs and stuff. When we're at our lake place, I'm able to practice there and take inspiration from writing new songs inspired by that farmland there in Wisconsin. So for me, music is where it's at. Music and family.
You know, I'm listening to you, and I have to be honest, I'm getting, as the young kids say, a little jelly. A little jealous. You know, I wish, that's awesome, man. I wish I could retire and just focus on it, you know. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, though, you know, and graduating college, I faced that fork in the road. In fact, that's a song that I'm going to put on my next album that I've entitled Forks in the Road. And I did have to make that conscious decision. Was I going to dedicate full-time to music making? Or was I going to try to get a real job so that, you know, I could put a, roof over my head and food on our family's table? And I made the right choice because my professional career introduced me to all sorts of musicians that I never would have had an opportunity to meet. But now, in retirement, being able to get back to it and dedicate myself to my playing, continuing to refine my technique after all these years, is really something that's special. So I hope that you'll get an opportunity to do that someday, Sarantos, because I highly recommend it.
How do you measure success personally for you in anyone's music career?
It's the joy that it gives to me. Is it giving me joy? And then also the joy that I can see on the face of my audiences. Well, the thing that's really important to me is that, that I make that personal connection with my audience. That's why I really enjoy playing house concerts and listening rooms rather than festivals and brew pubs and wineries. Because I measure success by whether or not folks are tuning in to my lyrics, and if they're, digging on my guitar playing. If I'm able to visually see that connection with my audience, meeting them eye to eye, that's how I measure the success.
Do you have anything fun coming up for the fans this year that you want to share on the show?
Well, I've got this podcast that we're working on coming up. I've got a couple of great shows coming up where I'm going to be doing a small theater in Chatfield, Minnesota. I've got a great coffee house gig up in Minneapolis, actually in St. Paul, at the Ginkgo Coffee House where all the folkies play. So it's grand to be able to perform at a venue like that.
So if you could have a superpower, one superpower, what would you pick?
Boy, is that a good question. My superpower would be able to give of my love more deeply, to love more deeply, and to be able to share that love through my art, through my music, through my lyrics, through my guitar playing, being able to make that personal connection with my audience.
What's the one question you wish interviewers would stop asking you?
When did you start playing the guitar? or when did you fall in love with music?
Yeah.
Because, everybody says, yeah, from when I was a kid, So I like interviews like this where we can really get to the substance, where you and I can connect, interviewer to me as an artist, and to be able to get that word out, and for us to make that personal connection.
Do you have any pre-show superstitions that you swear by?
Well, I get nervous before every show after all these years. And, I let it happen, because when I get those willies before I go on stage, it makes me sharp. It makes me remember to, breathe deeply, to take those deep breaths before I go out on stage, so that I get my proper vocal placement, that I use my diaphragm, and I breathe from my diaphragm, and I make sure that my voice is there up on the bridge of my nose, so that I sing in tune. So getting those pre-stage jitters really help me set the stage to do the best show that I can.
Do you have any advice here on the air that you want to give to your previous boss?
To my previous boss?
Yes. It can't be X-rated.
To my previous boss for my day job, right?
Sure.
It would be to understand the value of the arts better, that making the investment in public arts programming, I work for a city organization, in public arts programming, making the investment in quality performing arts facilities so that artists have a place to share their art with community members, to make community together, is something that's really worth pursuing. And to invest more in arts and culture than we do right now.
If you could see any artist in concert in their prime, who would it be and why?
Oh, boy. That's really almost an impossible question for me.
I'm good at those, by the way.
Well, thanks, man. I'd like to see Pete Seeger again in his prime, and to be able to sing with Pete Seeger again. That would really be something special for me, because of the grounding that he would provide, and to make the connection to everything that he embodied with the folk revival and all the artists that he influenced, and how his art informed and inspired mine, and all the artists that he informed and inspired, and how their work has influenced my art.
All right, last question. Tell us about where people can listen to you, buy your stuff, stream it, find more about you online.
My website is www.stevenjschmidt.net. And I'm on all the streaming services. Go to my website, or, at Stephen J. Schmidt Songwriter, to get to my YouTube channel.
It's awesome. I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
Thank you so much, Sarantos. I hope we visit again sometime soon.
Sure, anytime. And thank you out there to all the fans for spending a little bit of your precious time with the two of us tonight. We sincerely appreciate it, and we want to thank you for listening. We hope your unique story gets heard around the world too. My name is Sarantos. Please join me every single Tuesday evening on Reality Radio 101 to hear all these other artists share their fascinating behind-the-scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show. I love you. Have a great night.
Your touch burns like lightning in my veins. You showed me what is real, not bound by just wanna matter to someone. I tried to break the curse, to live a life that's mine. Still hear your voice in my head each time I cross the line. I'll never forget your name or all the weight you bore. But I've learned to give less so I can love a little more. I've been holding the weight of 1,000 dreams, but all my friends keep saying that I should let it go. 'Cause I can't be everything to everyone, but I just wanna matter to someone. I say the coolest things that I don't dare repeat to anyone but me. Yeah, they haunt me in my sleep. Been learning how to stop that voice that always shouts to speak to me like I do to others, and give myself the love I hand out. I've been holding my breath for too many dreams, and my heart says to let it all go. And my therapist agrees. I can't be everything to everyone, but I just wanna matter to someone. Oh, I can't be everything to everyone, but I just wanna matter to someone. Can I at least be something to someone?
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.